Vaughn, Savage.
Stay till the end of this program, and I will play that intro in in its entirety. Blessed risings, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show, and on today's episode of the Akuna Matata Hour, we will be discussing this long drawn out, longest title in history. Let me take a deep breath. Wisconsin education officials wrongly label black students as more at risk. We combed through the dropout prediction formulas for many states, and fortunately, Wisconsin was the only one where we found race was being considered. I'm already telling y'all, this is the twist and turny, the loop-de-loo. I can always smell when there is some cooning going on. Somebody done came in here raccooning and buffooning and done told these people something, and they done ran with it. I'm not sure if it was tetheristic, but I'm guaranteeing there's some raccooning and buffooning somewhere within here. Now, I don't know if they're trying to say it's good or bad, but if you're going to be like, oh, he's a black student, put him in the special education class because of his race, well, then that's obviously bad. But if you're going to go by race and say, hey, they're a black student, we don't know how many devilish, demonic white teachers that this black student has come in contact with. We don't know how many fake black and brown unity teachers this student has come in contact with. We do know that this is a school to prison pipeline. We do know that there's institutionalized racism in the education system. We do know that the system is set up for the black students to fail. So if you're making a case to recognize that, then that's a good thing. But I don't think that's what the problem is. I think they're talking about some crazy reverse racism and why they looking at that. You know, anytime it seems like they're giving black people anything, there's always a problem, even when it's not the truth, like welfare, that was made up for, white people. And somehow, one time, Ronald Reagan came across one item, one thing of a tether, and made it out to be black. Welfare queen. Encouraging high school graduation is a policy that garners broad support as it paves the way for higher wages and a better quality of life. Yeah, assumingly, I guess you should graduate at least from high school. I mean, if you taught more trades in high school, they would be set up way more. But of course, you know this, and so therefore you stop doing that. You don't want fiscally responsible citizens. No. The American way, the American dream is to consume and assume debt. In 2015, bipartisan majorities passed the Every Student Succeeds Act, a law aimed at reducing dropout rates amongst who? Don't say black people. Since then, dropout rates have declined about 13%. But now a new twist. I told you there was a twist. It's funny they use the same verbiage. Yeah, I said twist. But now a new twist. Education bureaucrats in Wisconsin are taking a misguided approach by injecting race into dropout calculations. Well, I would think race has something to do with it because the teachers are using race to disenfranchise young black students, to target young black students, to frustrate young black students. The new policy wrongly assumes that a student's color is a dropout risk factor, perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Well, like I said, it depends how you're doing it. If you're taking into account that they've been attacked for their whole scholastic career, well, then, yeah, but not if that's going to give them tutors, more money for better teachers, things of that nature. It goes on to say, to identify students at risk of dropping out, most school districts employ something called an early warning system. This tool is a relatively simple computer program that takes risk factors, weighs them, and then labels some students at risk, which triggers personalized intervention strategies to help them graduate. So, yeah, if there's a black student who's acing everything and excelling, nah, that student's obviously not at risk of dropping out, so he doesn't need your interference. But you may want to check in with that student to see if there's been any added roadblocks from specific teachers, from the system just in general, and if maybe they need a little help. I wouldn't mind that. I guess that's what a guidance counselor is supposed to do, but we know that's not happening. So, yeah, as white supremacy always takes both sides, this is a lot of blah, blah, blah. Like I said, it depends how you're using it. If you're just using it as another way to harass black students, then boo. I'll read the last sentence. In practice, however, adding race doesn't really work, according to a recent investigation. Um, uh, Generally, highly inaccurate data predicting many more black and Hispanic students would drop out than actually did. Wisconsin's own internal validation test showed that the system was wrong almost 75% of the time. This leads to several negative consequences, like what? Well, they're already perceived as being low achieving by teachers, even at random, learn less than students for whom expectations are higher. Well, that's already what your teachers are doing. Uh, they're based on wrong assumptions. Well, that's already what they're doing. So, this is a system to continue to target black kids. Apart from wondering why Wisconsin would use a factor that led to inaccurate results, you may also wonder whether using race to predict dropout risk is well a bit racist. Like I said, it depends. Here we go with the twist and turn. The reality is that we live in a white supremacist society, and the educational system is systematically racist. Yeah, this is Wisconsin's education spokesperson, Abigail Switz. We already know that. We already know that. By artificially injecting race as a predictor, Wisconsin education officials are not actually measuring dropout risk. They are making a political statement about their belief in the theory of systematic racism, adherent to this hold that all racial disparities are caused by racism. They are. Therefore, if more blacks than whites are dropping out of school, then the cause must be racism. It is. So it makes perfect sense to add race as a dropout factor, since race is the real reason why kids are dropping out. Makes sense. See, they're twisting and turning, want to take both sides. What did we learn here today, boys and girls? What I've already said, what we've been saying, that the education system is systematically racist against your black students, ladies and gentlemen. That's it, that's all. So that's why you need to be talking to your scholar every day about what pressures that they have been going through. If you're going through them in your regular 9 to 5, as you go about your business in the world, you think that they're not going through it. If you think you're receiving it from your co-workers, you think they're not receiving it from the young hellion spawn, think again. Talk to your scholars, see how their day is going. Make sure you stand up and stand behind our young black scholars. And if you can, homeschool is the rule. I ain't gonna hold you. Just gonna mold you, scold you, and fold you about being off code. Gonna leave you with 4 words as we always do around this time. Subscribe for the vibe, like for the spike, comment your vomit, and share if you care and if you dare. And we're over there on all the platforms. Love, peace, blessings, and Maloha. Gotta go high for sure high. You already know how. Big brother, light bright, supreme, almighty. Signing off.
Vaughn, Savage, Media. Vaughn, Savage, Media.